Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't posted in a little while, but it's time for Ask a Trans Attractive Man number 5. Wow, this one's going to be a bit difficult. I want to hit on a couple of subjects. One that's pretty near and dear to my heart. I'm going to have to be very careful in how I relay this message this particular time. I know a young man who's very, very close to me who happens to be trans attracted. Because of our personal relationship, it's very, very strange that this young man would follow down a path that would kind of lead to a lot of self-destruction and to poor decisions. And I've touched on fear before, but for this particular young man, this fear to me is so irrational and so very, very strange that I can't make heads or tails of it. I have been allowed to basically share with you guys something about a family member of mine who was my brother, who was going to be included in my book. One of my brothers happens to be trans attracted. In fact, a long, long time ago, he and I were trans attracted at the same time in the early to mid 80s, and we didn't know it. We did not share it. We did not discuss it. This led to some poor decisions, to some strained relationships, and for me, some very, very nasty divorces and a lot of hurt feelings. We know this young man who's very close to us, who basically saw the path that I traveled, and because of his relationship to my brother, was able to talk to him and to kind of talk through some of his issues. But because of fear, this young man chose a path that's pretty much leading to destruction. He was with a young lady who, once he shared that he had an attraction to trans women, she actually told the young man that there were two things that this woman was going to do. One, she would flip out and blast him all over social media and to all his friends and family and things of that nature, trying to embarrass him. Or two, she was going to do something to help change him by getting pregnant. The latter happened. She got pregnant, and of course they're going through a lot of drama. And I've been able to talk to this young man and attempt to counsel him. And it was very, very discouraging to me, because he really chose a path that he has seen me walk. He chose a path that isn't really, it doesn't have a happy ending when you're not living your truth. A lot of men out there decide to deny, fight, do whatever they need to do to be normal, and it doesn't work. You bring people into your lives, you bring situations into your lives that are toxic, and those toxic actions and those toxic things really can be devastating and can hurt you on many, many different levels. This message is really to this particular young man. I know you're out there. I know you do watch my videos, and we have talked a number of times about this subject. I really want you to take a look into yourself. I want you to look hard. I want you to understand that, A, there's nothing wrong with being you. It pains me to see somebody follow the same path that I followed. To have to deal with a cisgendered woman being very angry and bitter. And I can see a lot of bad things happening because of this. I just really want that young man, you're out there, brother. I want you to do the right thing for yourself. But the thing that really got to me is that no matter how much talking and how much counseling that I tried to do, ultimately that decision was up to him to be comfortable with himself, to be comfortable in his own skin. And he's not quite there yet. He's still worried about societal conditioning. He's worried about what people think of him. But yet he would share how he feels about trans women to a woman who he was in a relationship with. Why he thought that she would be okay with it is a whole nother situation, a whole nother thing. But it's just very, very strange. And I'm really talking to all the men out there. Guys, take a step back. Evaluate yourself. Evaluate what you want to do. Evaluate who you bring into your lives. Making a mistake that can affect you for, a lot of years, that can cause a lot of family strife, especially bringing children into the situation, to me is, pretty horrible. And you really need to make sure that you are making the right decision, for yourself. Look into your heart and decide what is the right thing to do for you and for that person that you're with. Because when you bring in someone and you're being either deceptive or disingenuous, or however you want to call it, you just full of crap, the consequences are huge. And some of those consequences can last a lifetime, literally a lifetime. So I really want this message to get out there to anybody else who's in a similar situation, who is struggling with being trans attracted, to take the time to step back, step away from everyone, and find out what you want, to ask questions, to find someone who is either like-minded or who has traveled the road that you are going to travel, and listen, and then make up for in your own mind what's the right thing to do. You can avoid a whole lot of strife and a whole lot of drama. The next subject is kind of touchy as well. I met a trans woman who, this was a while ago, I was dating, and she told me to my face that she has a problem with me because I call myself trans attracted. That kind of got me sideways. She said, well, I'm a woman, I'm not a transsexual. Okay, but I've seen what you have between your legs, so pretty much know that you're a transsexual. But again, she chose a path to where she would keep her identity hidden and travel in circles with folks who did not either understand nor knew who she truly was. In the event of that happening, she went out to a club with some cisgendered women, and because of a guy that she was interested in, one of her so-called friends decided to dish her business, and two young men beat her down and put her in the hospital, all because she didn't stay true to herself and true to embracing who she is. I do have a problem with women who are trans who like to deny it, or like to say, well, hey, I'm a woman. Yes, you are a woman. I will agree to that. But you're a woman from a trans background. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are men out there who want that, and it's not a fetish, it's not a phase. But if you're not comfortable with yourself, how the hell are we going to be comfortable with you? To me, that is the most telling aspect of when I meet a woman, is how she views herself. If she doesn't embrace and love herself, I think it's a waste of time for me to try to forge any sort of relationship with her, because at the end of the day, she's not happy with herself, not happy with her situation, and it's just going to be trouble. I know some trans women out there will kind of chop me up for, saying that it's okay being trans, and I'm not saying wear a t-shirt and say, hey, I'm a trans woman, but putting yourself in dangerous situations, I really think is crazy. Putting yourself where people don't know and can be violent, can put you in the hospital, can put you in the ground, put you in the grave. And again, the same thing with this young man that I was talking about previously. Not loving yourself, not embracing yourself, not embracing who you are is a problem. And it really pains my heart when I hear folks do these things that are so negative to who they are, what they are, how they are. And it's just, I don't know. I'm really at a loss for words right now, especially with this young man. So I know you're out there, son. I know you're out there, boy. Just listen to me, man. Listen to somebody who's traveled that path. You had an opportunity to talk to my brother. He traveled a path very similar to what you're traveling right now, and he's going through it. Take the time to love yourself. Everybody needs to take the time to love themselves, to know who they are, and to know what they're all about. If you don't do that, you're really going to walk down a path of destruction. That's all I really have to say today. I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate you guys listening to me. And please, if you have any comments, or if you have a subject or question that you want me to discuss or to elaborate on, I'd be more than happy to hear about it. And I will consider it. I want to thank you guys. Have a good night.